What's cooking good looking? Today we're going to be making pumpkin creme brulee. I did this last year and I've never made creme brulee before. I've heard it's super hard. When you hear creme brulee, you think like, super fancy, 5-star. And so initially last year when I made it, I thought it was going to turn out awful. I didn't think it would do well, and it honestly was the best dessert I think I've ever made. And I am using the same recipe this year. I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. I will have the recipe listed below. I am cutting that recipe in half because I don't need 12 of them. The recipe originally makes 12, so I am making 5 actually, but I'm cutting it in half. I'll probably have a little extra. It's just because I only found a pack of 5 small pumpkins. I wasn't going to buy 2 just for 1 extra small pumpkin, so it is what it is. So I am cutting that recipe in half, but it's super simple. The most time-consuming part of this recipe is going to be cutting up your little pumpkins. Now, you don't have to do this. You can follow the recipe exactly as is and use small little ramekins and bake those like, the original creme brulee, just with pumpkin added to it. You're more than welcome to do that, but I am making them in the small pumpkins because it's way more festive that way. It looks way better in my opinion, and it's just a little fun. So that is what we're doing today. I also had a lot of you really want to see this. I posted on my Instagram. If you don't follow us, I will have us listed right here, and I'm always down below. We did a story, but you guys seemed really interested in seeing that video, so here I am. We're going to go ahead and go through with it. Hopefully everything turns out as well as last year. You never know. Baking is always super precise. If I mess it up, I always tend to do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys real quick me doing the pumpkins, and then we'll get right into the recipe. As predicted, I did not get to finish the pumpkin creme brulee on the day I started them. It is a couple days later. The other day, I simply just cut open the pumpkins, took all the seeds out, cleaned them out. I put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in my fridge. So those are ready to go. I don't have to worry about those today. So all we have to do is worry about making the creme brulee that goes inside the pumpkin and cooking it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys all of the ingredients I already got ready, and then we'll go ahead and start cooking. Okay, so very quickly, once again, the recipe I have linked below, I did split in half. So everything I'm showing you is half of the original recipe. 1.5 cups heavy cream. I have a ½ cup of pumpkin, but I actually kind of overloaded it. I wanted a little extra pumpkin in mine. That's just a personal choice. I have a 1/4 cup packed brown sugar. It calls for dark brown sugar, but I don't have that, and I didn't use it last time, so I think we'll be just fine. 1/8 cup of sugar. My 1/4 cup, just put it in half, and that's 1/8 cup. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, so just kind of a pinch of salt. And then we have a ½ tablespoon of pumpkin pie seasoning. If you don't have that, you can just use some nutmeg and cinnamon. It'll turn out just fine. And then we also have our 3 egg yolks. In my opinion, the hardest part of this recipe is going to be incorporating those egg yolks without frying them when adding the hot heavy cream. So I'm going to show you guys my technique, so hopefully we all get it done nice and right. I have a pot to go ahead and boil all of our ingredients. We're going to bring our heavy cream to a simmer and then add everything to it, as well as our pumpkins are in a baking pan. And I have a cup of water over there that we're going to fill. It says 1 cup goes into the roasting pan, but honestly, we want to fill it to about 1 inch on the pumpkin, so if we need to add more, we will. Okay, first, so we're gonna bring our heavy cream to a simmer, not a boil, just a light simmer. So we're just gonna put it in our pot and bring it to a very slow simmer. I'm gonna put it on low. Also, before I forget, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 325 degrees. Now that it has a tiny simmer to it, which makes sure you keep stirring it, you don't want your cream to burn, we're gonna go ahead and just add all of our ingredients to the pot now. First, I'm gonna whisk in the pumpkin. Whisk. Now I'm adding the brown sugar. Pumpkin spice. And salt. Alright, so now we're going to bring this to a simmer and whisk it often so it doesn't burn, but it just needs to get nice and warm, and then we will start adding it to our egg yolks. I'm adding my egg yolks to a bigger bowl so I can whisk them up with our mixture. It is now boiling. I'm going to show you. Not boiling, but simmering, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Now this is the tricky part. We're supposed to take this very, very hot liquid and pour it into our egg yolks without cooking our egg. So it is recommended to slowly add to the egg so that way it has a chance to get used to it. So I'm just taking a small scoop, gently adding that to our egg, whisking it in. A little more, and we'll whisk that in. And just keep doing that till you're done. To make it easier on me, I'm putting it in a glass measuring cup so I can just pour it into the pumpkins. Okay, now we're just going to add some water to the pan. Alright, and now we very carefully put this in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes, and then they'll be done. So they are looking done to me. When I touched this one, you can see I put my little finger in there. It is solid, so these are done. I'm going to pull them out and let them cool. I'm going to put these into the fridge until they are completely cool. I will see you guys again in a couple of hours so we can brulee our creme. Now that our pumpkins have completely chilled, now we're going to do the funnest part of this, the bruleeing of our creme brulee. So it typically calls for a different kind of sugar. It's like this fancy sugar. I only have regular granulated sugar. We're going to use that. I've used it before. It will do just fine. If you want to, you can use the fancy sugar. I'm sure it's extra fancy, but today we just have granulated sugar, so we're going to go ahead and torch these babies up. This is what our pumpkins look like before we put the sugar on top. Look how cute these are. I think these are just a really festive food, and like it sounds fancier than it really is. Like I said, the hardest part of this whole recipe is going to be the torching of the sugar, because you just have to torch it with fire. That's kind of like dangerous. And just mixing the hot liquid with the raw egg. Other than that, these are actually really easy to make. So that's one. This one has a nice wide opening. I should have done a lot of them like this, but you know, you live and you learn. Well, you can get closer. You want them to be able to see. We're just gonna put the sugar on top. Last time I don't think we put enough. Now it's time to torch.
You got this, right? Do you need to move the pepper rack, or you got it?
I'm pretty sure I got it. I'm just gonna use it on low.
Got hairspray on?
A little. Last time our torch wasn't so big. Alright, now we're gonna try them. And that's the after. Your yawn really makes me feel good about it.
It really is a crack. Like that.
It's really good. You went,
I said, it's good.
It's good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Scale of 1 to 10.
And you really bite. And my things will work a crack. Oh, there it went.
I slammed into mine. It's a 9 out of 10? They're pretty good, aren't they? 9 out of 10. Alright guys, so that was it. That was the pumpkin creme brulee. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have the recipe down below. Remember, I did cut the recipe in half, so all of my instructions and my ingredients were the half. About to go enjoy the rest of these. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know down below if you make them. I will see you in the next video. Please make sure you're subscribed. Bye guys!